Hi, my name is Natalia and I'm coming to you from Denmark, and this is my knitting podcast. Today I have 2 finished objects, 3 or 4 work in progress, and even 1 crochet project in progress. Yes, I'm not wearing any knitted objects today because it's still really warm here in Denmark. Autumn is definitely here. You can feel that air is like changing, that it's different already, but it's not that cold yet to wear sweaters or something like that. Yeah, maybe in early mornings, but not like that, not like now. So no knitted object, but I have 2 finished objects this time. One I cannot show you because last time I was working on body for newborn, and I wasn't finished last time, but it finished this time, but I already sent it, the finished object, so I will just try to insert the picture of that. So that was something what I work with. I made it with 2 strands mohair yarn held together, and then this white yarn I just had some thin merino wool. I think it's like thin, like for a knitting machine. So I just hold 2 strands together and make it all around, and I held more strands together to knit this strand with this like small rope what you put in the back. I don't know how to tell, this string to make the closure in the back. Yes, cannot tell about some pattern because I just like looked on numbers of different patterns for newborn for my gauge. This project have like big opening on the back, and I couldn't find anything like that similar on the Ravelry, so I just tried to figure it out, and I think I achieved something what the person who was asking about this thing wanted. So all is happy with this, but again, cannot recommend any pattern for this because I didn't had any and I just improvised. My second finished object is socks, but this time it's quite interesting socks. I'm trying to find some, put them on the sock blockers. Yes, I was asked where I had the sock blockers from, but I bought them on eBay and that link isn't working anymore, so cannot tell you, but I saw that there's many like that on eBay or on Etsy, so probably you should just look around. My socks look like that. It's the first one, and I will put one more. So this pattern is really interesting. It's called Esen by, sorry, I'm looking on my show notes, Issen by Yucca, if I'm pronouncing this right. I believe the designer is from Japan, and it's really interesting construction of the socks because it's not knitted top down or cuff down. They actually knitted on the side and then sewn together. I didn't cut the end yet, but I wove them in, so they look like that, and I think it's really interesting. I don't know how much I can tell you because it's pay for pattern, but basically you're casting this amount of stitches and you knit in flat. There is special instruction how to make heel. There is a couple of sides. I believe there is like 3 sides to achieve how wide is the leg, and then how long you want your cuff, because you don't knit it up, so it's not something what you can try. So you should figure it out this from begin, but because of ribbon this height is quite big. I tried to knit this pattern previously, but back that time I thought my gauge was okay, all was good, but they didn't work out for me. The heel was too far, they was too big for me, so I basically ripped them back. Now after I tried this one, I will try to insert picture of previous also, but you cannot actually see on the picture that they don't good on me, but this one said much better as previous pair. And I used two yarns. One is sock yarn which have like self pattern effect, and one is just solid sock yarn, but I think they go nicely together and I really like what effect you get. And I think you can play many combine yarn, different yarn in this way, like I don't know, two colors, many colors. There are some project where people use mini skins here on the bottom and then solid in the front, or you can do all in this color and then get stripes when you don't get in them vertically, but actually not horizontally, but actually vertically. What I think like really interesting effect. And I like, if I will try to do this normally in socks, I will normally use what, intarsia, and I don't know if I will play with intarsia on the sock. Yes, but I'm really happy with this. Again, the pattern is called Esen, and you can find this on Ravelry, and I can recommend this. This designer have a lot of interesting sock constructions, and that was definitely something what I tried and what I will like to do again. And yes, actually my first work in progress is socks, that again with this pattern, but I slightly modified that again. So this pattern have like kind of like ribbon on the side, and but there's another in a pattern there's like 3 different ways how you knit the socks, and one was without ribbon. So for my second pair I try without ribbon, and I'm using just one yarn. So I will show you this now. It's not look anything like a sock for now, because while you're knitting it look like that. Someone will tell me that it's sock, I will don't really believe, but it is. So there's provisional cast on, and there's some I don't know, toe. Here is I'm forming toe, and here is a like heel construction. But yeah, I didn't finish even one yet, so it's hard to tell, but that is a sock. And I'm using yarn. My yarn look quite messy now, but it's like that. It's like gradient yarn. It's have like gray, purple, and it's beigey pink color. Yes, so if I was knitting socks, my gradient will be going like that, and probably I will have less stitches, so the sections will be shorter. But because actually this is the way how my socks will be, so the gradient will go this way. Yeah, I think I will finish the first one maybe today or tomorrow, and then we'll start the second one. I knitted the long socks in this yarn and had leftovers, so I decided to try this, and I'm trying to make shorties. So basically I calculate from this pattern how much I have stitches from here, like the top, like leg of the sock, and I decided that I will do just 10 rows before ribbon, and so I decreased the recommended number of stitches for cast on and cast on less. And again, this sock it had ribbon here, and this what I'm knitting now, it just plain stockinette stitch. Yeah, and I don't know which side I will be wearing this, or like purl side or knit side, but for now it's just my work in progress, and it's something what I'm carrying with me every day while I'm going to deliver my son to school or to study, and if I have some time on a bus and it's not too crowded, that I'm knitting this. Buses become much more crowded after many restrictions was lifted, so there's like much more people who are going to work, I guess, now as before. Like they don't work from home anymore, and there's like more students, so buses are more crowded, so it's not always I get a chance to knit. My next work in progress is something what I want to knit almost every day, and yes, it's getting bigger, but I'm talking about Opus shawl by Max the knitter. It's really hard for me to show you this now because my needles are not that big, yeah, so I believe it's maybe 60 or 80, maybe more to 80, so I cannot fully straighten them. I thought maybe like I get another put them on another needles, but I'm knitting this shawl on a cubic needles, and basically I have just one pair of these needles, and it's not like interchangeable, it's like just here, so I cannot really straighten this, but I will try to put some pictures what I tried to make of a shawl. And for now it's look as again folded, but it's look kind of like that. Yeah, and I really like it. It's like how colors going together. Last time when I was showing you this shawl, I put the stitch marker, so I was here. No, how good can you see? So I basically made the same amount, but now it's you in this shawl you increase in every second row, I believe. So the rows becoming longer. And yeah, last time when I was talking with you, I mentioned that I'm having the problem with my main color, what's here, this light gray color, because the producer changed something in colors, and now in the shop the same number, it's like warmer gray, and this one is colder gray. So when I put them together, they didn't look the same, and I could see the difference. So I was debating about changing my main color on something similar to that but more gray, or something similar but a little greenish, what was in my first version, and I decided to go to more gray. Here in this section I tried to mix these two colors. Yeah, I think you can see this. So first I was trying to change the colors every row, and then every 2 rows, because when I was changing them every row, I find out that I actually have a lot of ends to move in after this, because you don't knit in the round, you knit in flat. And yeah, so basically it was too complicated, and I changed to changing color every 2 rows. So I was going I don't know, knit row, purl row, and then was changing to another color. It was already this here, this section, and then I changed to this darker gray. But I think it's coming together nicely. You can, now when I'm pointing on this, you can see like this color and this main color, they're not the same, but as for me they're quite close, and I think that will be okay and will be nice, and I like how it's going. I don't know how many repeats I already make. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I made 8 repeats. Pattern call, I believe, for 11, and then the pattern is actually made for sport weight yarn, and I'm knitting with light fingering weight yarn, so my gauge is different. I will be getting different how long is the shawl. So I will probably will be adding more repeats. So if I'm now 8, then what, it's 3 more, and then I will be finished for like how the pattern is written. So maybe I will do 5 repeats. But yeah, as I told before, now rows is longer. I counted not long time ago and I had more than 200 stitches per row now. So my rows is going slower now. And yeah, so I don't know, maybe a week, maybe 2, and I will get this shawl done. Because it's knitted in mosaic stitches, before I block it, it's kind of like looked squeezed together, but I can easily pull this, and I'm trying to pull this while I'm knitting, so that I'm not scared that I will get this bubbly effect after. So yeah, as again, the pattern is called Opus Shawl by Max the Knitter, and now they are making call for this shawl. So if you go on Instagram or Ravelry, you can find many different projects with many people who making this shawl in different colors, and I think that's so great and so nice. Really like it and looking forward to wearing this. Yes, my next work in progress, and again about colors, this is wrong side of the shawl. Yeah, many people like this, but I don't think that there will be something that I will like to wear, but maybe. Yes, about the colors, what I'm using yarn. It's Danish company, they call it Smugsack, and it's reloaded merino, so it's 75% merino wool what is recycled, and 25 some another fiber, I don't remember, but yeah, it's really soft yarn. I really like it. It's coming in 50-gram balls, and it's have, don't remember, like 230 meters per 50 grams, so it's light fingering by yarn. I will list my colors on Ravelry on project page. If you cannot use Ravelry or something other, you can always just message me and I will write you which yarn I'm using for that. And I'm knitting this, the pattern I believe called for 3.5 millimeters needles, but I'm knitting this on 3, because again I'm using not sport yarn but light fingering weight yarn. My next work in progress, it's a Colorwork sweater. I showed it last time also. I'm just knitting this for Unwind knitwear, and the pattern is called Waterfall pullover. Last time when I showed you this, I had body finished, so that's body, and as you see now I have one sleeve fully finished. The pattern is written for 3/4 sleeve, I believe, but I decided to extend this. I tried that, and I don't know, I just decided in winter I will like long sleeves more. So one sleeve is done, and I'm knitting my second sleeve now, and I have I don't know, like 2 repeats, less than 2 repeats, and then just ribbon, and I will finish this. So probably next time I can show you that as a finished object, and I'm looking forward to have this. And I believe the pattern will be released in the end of September, or maybe even like in 20th, because we have time until 16th of September. I'm definitely gonna finish to that time. And I think the pattern is really interesting. That's called for 2 colors of fingering weight yarn, and there's many people who was knitting this in different colors. I pick up this brownish color with pinkish, and I'm really happy how it looks. My color work isn't that even right now, but I know that after washing it will be much nicer. And it's again Smugsack yarn Reloaded Merino. This like brown and pink. This is to my colors. Yes, and my last work in progress, it's actually not knitting but crocheting. So last time I was talking that I want to reduce my yarn stash. I don't have that big yarn stash, but I will like to have less, because I feel like with time I'm losing interest to some of yarn and I don't like it to go to waste. So I decided to don't buy a lot of yarn, buy this just with purpose, and better to find something in stash before buying something. So, and I decided to use that yarn what I have at home. I had the yarn, it's nice gray color, and it's, I believe it's something between decay and worsted weight yarn. It's quite thick, but I have no clue what is this yarn. For me it's look like wool yarn, and it's really rustic wool yarn, and I cannot wear that rustic wool. I tried before. I had some sweater what also was from rustic wool yarn. I cannot wear it. I tried to wear this like this long sleeve t-shirt under, still cannot wear this. It's kind of like biting me, and yeah, I just don't like it. So my daughter took the sweater and she's okay with that. She liked it, and I'm happy that I didn't waste my work and yarn, but I know that I definitely cannot wear the sweater with this wool. So I had I believe 3 cakes of this yarn. So I started to knit with this a basket. I don't know how good I can show you that, but it's look like that now. I think after I will finish, I will wash this with high temperature to felt this a little, that it will be more structured. And for now I think to use this for some my projects, to start some projects. And yes, so how did I make this? So first I'm crocheting this, and because yarn is rustic, it's also quite hard because it's quite scratchy, even not just rustic. So this is the bottom. I don't know how good you can see this. I didn't block this anything or something like this. I made this in 2 attempts. I made 2 tries to make the bottom. So first time when I was increasing, I was following the pattern for circle, like first you crochet. I use single crochet for that. I know that there's difference between English style terminology in crocheting and American, but I have no clue about this because I'm not advanced crocheter. I know how to do some stitches, but not a lot. So yes, first time when I make this, the pattern was called, find the pattern for the circle, and it was called like you cast on some stitches, next round you double amount of stitches, and then you doing in a pattern like you do double 2 stitches in first stitch and then 1 in next one, and then you repeat in this. The next round is like 2 in the first, then 2 next stitches, it's just 1 stitch, and all like that. But after a couple of rounds, there was like too much stitches, and my needle and it was looking weird. It wasn't laying flat, so I ripped it back, and then I was adjusting amount of stitches what I was increasing in rounds. So I believe that first couple of rounds I was increasing like the pattern was called, but then I was increasing less than the pattern was called. So sometimes when I came to the part, to the stitch when I was needed to make 1 more, I actually will just make one and skip this and just count around, but that went okay. My second struggle was a seaming part here, not seaming, how you call this, in the end of the round when you connect it to do next round. So it's all understandable for me how you do this in knitting, but that wasn't that easy for me in crocheting. So first when I started, my end of the round went like on the side and it was really visible and it was going there. So I looked a couple of videos how you can change this, and I follow one instruction when you that's just hard. It's like, if you need the explanation, just write me below and I will try to send you a video what I used for this. But yeah, right now I'm working on this. I believe I used like 1.5 of these cakes, and I have more, but I don't know how much more I will go up. I believe I will go maybe like 3-4 rows more and then make some handles. So maybe I will have one more basket or something similar. But I'm happy that I started to work with some yarn in my stash, but was just laying and I didn't use it before, but now it maybe will be something usable, and I will decrease my stash and will actually gain some use of that, not just that yarn, not just be laying around. Yes, so basically that was all. I hope that next time I will finish my Colorwork sweater and maybe will make more progress on Opus shawl. And yeah, that's so excited. I think September is quite cool month for knitters. Steven West is coming with new make along. Yes, I don't know if I will be participating this year because I don't want to buy yarn, and this year pattern is called for 5 different colors, and I don't know if I actually can find 500-gram skins in my stash that I can combine and like how they connect, but maybe, I don't know, we will see. Another thing is the Joy Locatelli. She's coming with she's also having every autumn like call where you can knit her patterns, and I thought to participate last year and for some reason didn't make it, but this year I really want to make this, and I want to knit her Elton pullover. I believe there is like big boxy pullover when you stripe it fingering weight yarn and mohair weight yarn, but I want to do this just in fingering weight yarn, and probably I bought previous year yarn for that sweater actually and didn't make it, so probably will make this year. Yeah, that was all for me today. Hope you're all well and have time for your knitting, and thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Hi.